Okay, this is Adam Ballinger, and I've got another short segment for you. This was in response to a question after a recent seminar, and then a couple of Facebook comments about the toes and the feet, about lifting your toes. So, lifting your toes wasn't what I originally heard when I was first learning to do yoga stuff. This is a really big foot. And a fairly big toe. So, but it did seem to become very popular, and I learned to do this in some of my much more practiced and studied styles of yoga, asana. And what I heard early on was lift the toes. And what this would do is, as you lift the toes, toe tips, it would do a couple of things. That when you would lift the toes, some of the muscles used are up here in the shins, up in the shin, and they kind of come down. One of them is kind of in this lace, kind of like a retinaculum in your wrist. Can't really see it unless you were to dissect it. And it comes down and around into the toe tips. And so when you lift the toes, you strengthen this muscle, and it's kind of on the upper outside of your shin. That's a very important muscle. It's a very helpful muscle for ankle stability and things like that, mostly ankle stability. And because the distance, this also comes into more connective tissue areas, so that when you lift, this and this are trying to get shorter, and a lot of times your arch will lift. There's some other explanation to it. This is just a very quick and brief. So pulling the toes up would tone this muscle, stabilize the ankle, and the arch would lift. Now the misnomer on this, or the mistake for a lot of folks, was thinking that this was great arch development. And part of the reason why this is not good arch development is the majority of the muscles that you want to use to create a better functioning arch, they actually work when you press down, either with the toe tips or with the toe knuckles. There are different muscles that are primarily just in the arch area, and you have muscles that come all the way out through their ligaments and connections all the way to the toe tips. And you have muscles that go well beyond the plantar area, the arch area, and they come all the way, let's see if I can use another color. They go all the way from the toes, underneath the foot, behind the ankle, and to the back side. They're in front of the calves, but on the back side of the shin. So they are even farther back. If this is your Achilles tendon, these muscles are deeper than the Achilles, but they're on the back side of the foot. So when you push your toes down and your toe knuckles down, it's probably one of the better ways to activate the plantar muscles and actually turn on the arch. It is possible to lift the toe tips up and not really engage the plantar muscles or the muscles on the bottom of the foot, but you create arch because you're shortening the distance between A and B. And because there's kind of a fascial bracelet here, this isn't going to pull all the way up. And because there's fascia that connects these ligaments more down into the joint area, it's going to try to shorten this. And as you shorten this, the arch is going to go up. It's not necessarily because of the actions of the plantar muscles. It is possible that a person has created that coordination, but it's less likely. So, pushing the toe tips down and the toe knuckles down does use the plantar muscles, and even deeper than that, it uses other sets of muscles that go all the way under and through the plantar area. Some of them go right up along the bones to the back side of the ankle. So now you've got something that's shortening between a point A and a point B here. That creates more of an arch, and a point A and a point B all the way back up behind here because it's going behind the ankle. And that's going to shorten here to here, also encouraging the arch. And it's toning these muscles that go behind the ankle joints. So when these tendons tone, they actually build stability to the back of the ankle, and a lot of it helps create stability to the inside of the ankle. As they tighten up back behind the ankle, they're going to hold stability here. The lifting up the tips of the toes, those ligaments don't go in the same areas, so they're not creating the same ankle stability. It does add tone, but it's not this functional ankle stability that you're going to mimic when you walk. Now, if your toes are really crowded, say like your big toe kind of creeps inwards, or your pinky toe kind of creeps inwards, a great exercise is to lift and spread the toes. And this is more of a spread the toes out laterally. Once you can, lift and broaden the toe tips, and sometimes even a little bit at the knuckles, but most likely if your toes collapse in, your knuckles are kind of collapsing out in the feet. Longer story. But lift and spread the toes, but then exercise pressing them down. It will help you build the muscles that support your plantar fascia. It will help you support the muscles that help stabilize your toe joints. This is one of the reasons why the joints will often broaden out as the toes tips collapse in. And it can help you stabilize your ankle. Much more functional to walking. Just think about it. How often do you walk or jog or run while lifting your toe tips? So on the mat, lifting the toes to bring the toes broad again. If you've been wearing shoes a lot or your toes have collapsed in like with bunions, fantastic exercise. But you want to practice in the way that you're going to use this foot in nature, not just on the yoga mat, but like a walking person, a person who's going to walk or hike or jog or just try to be stable. These don't all also just mimic the movement. Push here, push here. This tends to lift even before you use the large calf muscles. Use the calf, and then you move even better. If you're trying to do stability in standing poses, lifting your toes is not what you want to do. By taking out the entire end of the forefoot, you want to work on pushing them down, developing the space, the rooting, and the muscular tone that supports that. All right, well, I hope that little bit helps. So, if you need, lift and spread your toes so that you can use them better. But in the long run, learn how to press them down, develop stronger forefeet, stronger arches, and stronger ankles. All right, hope to talk to you again soon. Let me know if you have any questions. This is Adam Ballinger.